searching.
Good evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joining me just like every single Tuesday, we have Steve the Voice White. Steve, how you doing this week, bud?
She's a Wonder Woman. She is a Wonder Woman. G'day.
Good day. And of course, we have an extra co-host this evening. All the way from Brazil, we have Andre. Good evening, hey, Andre. Nice to see you, sir.
How are
Thank you for joining the channel tonight.
Well, I appreciate the invitation. Last time I was here, it was by our very own Magic Lassos company. I was right by his side, and it was an amazing time. So here I am again, now with Gary and Steve.
Right?
Yeah.
And of course, the guest of honor, he's already getting impatient because he hasn't been put in a spotlight. So we got to make sure we tend to the diva in the building. We have Magic Lasso himself. Ryan, great to have you back on again, sir. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. My manager was getting very concerned, how much screen time was going where I wasn't talking, and that was becoming a point of contention, and I didn't want you to get a nasty email from my publicist.
Right. So tonight, first of all, we're going to let you introduce yourself, but I want to preface this by saying this particular 1011 came way courtesy of a cancellation from someone else. I instantly reached out to you because I had just watched your AOK video, and I'm like, we need an AOK 1011 like that.
Yeah,
that AOK you received was so remarkable. I'm like, I just got to ask him if he wants, and we want to promote that video. So
thank you.
So we're going to hand it over to you to give a quick 2 minutes of who you are and where they can watch this video that we're talking about, where these lovely AOKs are coming from.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I've been a lifelong comic book collector. Started when I was just an itty bitty Magic Lasso, and my passion for it still continues today. I don't think there's a Bronze Age comic book I've met that I haven't become friends with. And I have a YouTube channel that kind of is dedicated for you to follow along to my comic book journey. It's full of a lot of back issues that I buy. Today, Andre and I knew each other from Facebook group, a Wonder Woman Collectors Facebook group. And then in 2019, we actually met each other and spent some time together. And it was just like we had hung out 1,000 times before. It was so easy. And just a couple weeks ago, Andre was with me. He was in the US, and he took time out of his trip to want to come to see me because he was over on the East Coast. So he came over into the Midwest and spent some time with me, which resulted in 2-part AOK videos. The second part, which is the one that you watched, Gary, is actually 7 views away, last time I checked, from being my second most watched long form video.
Wow.
So I'm excited, and I'm very appreciative of the thankfulness, or to express the thankfulness that I have for people watching and supporting that video. You'll see comic books in there that you might not even know existed. Comic books that I now don't know anyone who owns. You'll see a very emotional reaction from me over this. And I'll talk a little bit more about that because, spoiler, that those books are coming up in the 1011 tonight.
Right.
So...
Yes,
and everything I'm showing tonight are books that Andre has AOK'd me. So I've stuck primarily to comic books, although he's AOK'd me some other stuff, superhero stuff that isn't comic books. There's a little Marvel in there. It's a little bit more DC. There's some Wonder Woman, but I promise the entire thing won't be Wonder Woman either. So, and I've got Andre here to clear up anything if I'm misdirected, because these comic books are in Portuguese and I don't read. I read English. I read English, and that's it.
Right, and he is all caught up on Spot's adventures. We can tell you.
Awesome.
Let's go say hi to the chat, and then we'll come right back to you. So
Sure.
first in this evening, breaking the mold, we have John's Comics with Kids. Good afternoon, John. Great
Well
to see you,
done,
buddy.
John. You beat James.
Right, and John, who's just had some of the best thumbnails going lately. John's killing it in the thumbnail, and you know what? His videos are kind of entertaining too. I got to leave more comments because a lot of times I'm watching videos on my, listening to videos on my way to work and on the way home.
Mhm.
We have Las Cruces. James, great to see you, sir.
James.
One of the best supporters, bar none, in the community. Steve the Voice White, our gracious co-host.
That's me.
One of my all-time favorite people, Jerry the Diva.
Did you guys see his Big Apple video? That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Went
that's
to that
next
Comic-Con?
on my queue. I usually
Yeah.
watch Jerry's videos like 3-4 at a time.
That was pretty wild.
Another one of my favorite people, Joe from Anachronic Comics.
Joe, I just did an AOK unboxing in a video that dropped this afternoon from him.
Brian
Nice.
LCS, good evening, sir.
Ryan?
Ryan himself saying hi. Mr. Chuck Hensey, who, if you haven't
Chucky.
checked out the episode a couple weeks ago with Chuck, John, and Cliff with the movies, absolutely
That
amazing
was-
episode.
Oh.
These guys just came in, and all I had to do was sit here and look like my ugly self and let people listen to them. It was a great show from them,
I was doing so many movie binging after watching that one.
right? Mr. DVH himself. Good evening, Dr. Von Hoots. Great to see you. And the Jackson Roy Kirk, the internet's best troll. Good evening,
Yeah.
sir. Great to see you.
Unsubscribed again. Block.
I mean, if he's not unsubscribing, he's resubscribing.
He is.
That's right.
See, see
He's a glutton for punishment.
he is. And see, he's at it right there.
Look at that.
So close with Steve,
well, it's
and
Gary.
I guess it's
See?
Gary. We have Southern Comic Geek. Jason, great to
Jason.
see you,
Hey,
sir.
Jason.
Synthetic Panels, thank you for coming in. We
Hey.
appreciate it. Mr. Bobby De La Ghetto, how you doing tonight, Bobby? Great to see
Hey.
you, sir. All right, and as is usual, people are still going to be popping in as they're getting their notifications. I will give them a quick tip of the hat as they come in. But back to the man of the hour, and Mr. Digger Jim, my
Digger
Thursday
Jim.
night
Oh,
co-host.
Digger.
But I'm excited to get this going. So, of course, people are going to see the books from that video, but they should go watch the video just because it's you and Andre, and it's emotional, and it's just great, and it's a spectacular gift all around. But let's not listen to me talk about it. Let's watch you show it. So start us out, please, sir.
Okay. So those specific books that Gary was talking about will be coming in the 10-1-1. But I'm going to get started with some Wonder Woman. And I'm curious if Andre knows which one I'm going to start out with. This is a vintage Wonder Woman, and it's very special to me because Gary, you were just on a show on Joe's channel, Anachronic Comics, about forgotten characters. It was a really great live stream.
Oh,
Redwood is a forgotten character. So Redwood was an assistant to Poison Ivy in a 2-issue story that was in World's Finest comic books. And I loved Redwood. I even own some original pages of artwork from that storyline. And this is the only time Redwood has ever made it on a cover. And this was never a cover in the US. And Redwood did make an appearance in a Wonder Woman board game. He was on the cover of a Wonder Woman board game.
how random.
Yes. He always reminded me, if you remember Floronic Man, he reminded me of a chubby Floronic Man who went off his diet.
Now, can you hold that a little closer to the screen?
Yeah.
What issue of World's Finest?
Nice.
It would be like 251, 252, or 252, 253, but I think it's 251, 252.
Wow. And that's almost like an ash can for the size of it, eh?
Yeah. So, Andre, are all the vintage books this size?
Yeah, actually, Brazilian comic books, they've had free sizes along history. When they started here in the 40s, they were bigger than the American ones. And then there was this economic crisis, and they just got like the regular size American comic book. And then another crisis, and they stayed just like this one. They have like it's like it has reduced it like 2/3, 1/3 of it. So this is actually 2/3 of the regular size of the comic book, of an average comic book. And then after this one, there comes a new crisis, and it gets even more. It's
Smaller.
even smaller. You know, it's even smaller. So I would say this one, it's like it's in the middle, you know. But what I want to point out about this comic book, you can see Poison Ivy here, at least her shadow. She's like waving. Show them, please, Ryan.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see you.
And this is not, and this is not exclusive art. You know, it was taken from the story. It's inside art, and it was put on the cover. I was 7 when it came. No. When I read it, I was 7, but it came out even earlier than that. And I felt so sorry for this guy because he has a tragic end in the end of the story, and he just falls from a waterfall and he's gone forever. And I remember feeling very sorry for him. And
he got dismembered too.
I never knew that this was one of Ryan's favorites. So when I gave it to him, he was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." So this is a very rare comic book here in Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a few other issues that have different covers than what the US version was. Most of the covers are the same as the US version, but there's a good handful, maybe 3 or so, I think, from this run that have different covers, with this being one of them.
Is the content the same though?
Yeah, content is the same. It's both stories put together as one story inside.
Okay. That's cool though.
But this kind of thing, it happens. I mean, it doesn't happen anymore. But during the 70s and the 80s, it used to happen a lot. So the publishing houses here in Brazil, they would change the original art to fit the size of the comic book, or they would make a completely new art for the comic books. And I've sent you comic books that you don't have in the US, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
Yeah. You're muted, Gary.
Gary.
Yeah, he's muted.
Gary, you're muted.
Muted.
Okay.
There you go.
That's the thing I like about the about foreign comics, because I love foreign comics, and I love that they don't always get the same color scale, right? They don't get the same color key. Yeah. And like Red Sonja in a lot of countries is they make her blonde instead of red haired, or they'll enlarge one panel and reduce another because they tell and see the story kind of a different way.
Yeah, that's
interesting. And I have a couple of examples of those back there, but it's just always interesting to see how a story is reinterpreted for a different audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right,
so
number 2, sir.
Yeah, the next one is an example of a smaller size book. Tonight, I'm going to show, some DC. I'm going to show a little Marvel too. Right now, I'm going to show both. Boom.
Oh. There you go.
But besides that, Boom 2. And if we're talking some DC and Marvel collaborating, Boom.
Oh, yeah, There you go. Yes. It's like the Travato clause again. So these things are like the digest size.
They're a little bit taller than digest.
Really?
Taller.
Wow.
Yeah. They're taller.
Yeah.
And that Wonder Woman comic book Ryan was showing seconds ago, it's a little bigger than these ones. Show them for comparison, please, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm already lost it.
I know. I'm already like, where did I put it?
You literally just had it in your hand.
I literally had it in my hand. And as
now it has disappeared into the abyss.
I can't. Oh, here it is.
That he lost it.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And guys, what an abyss it is. His house is full of so many goodies. You will never imagine how much comic books he has. I can't say how many because they are countless.
Right? Infinite.
So much comic books.
It just goes on and on. There's nothing wrong with that. That is perfectly acceptable.
Those are really cool.
I wish my house was just like that.
Yeah, because that reminds me of the Marvel and the DC crossover.
And I always like that Parasite story with Superman and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Of course, ours was a big treasury size.
Right.
And ours had wraparound covers. No wraparound covers on these babies.
No.
So you're starting to learn how to speak Portuguese yet?
No comprendo Portugueso.
What you can do though, Ryan, is I have some foreign books that Torsen sent me.
Uh-huh.
And if you go to Google Translate,
Yeah, you can put them
you
in
could
there.
just hold it over the book and it
Oh, you
translates.
can? Oh, that's a good idea. That's cool.
It works.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
So you actually see it in English.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
English.
That's cool. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just recently did that with a G.I. Joe book where the Baroness was speaking in Russian.
He did it in a silent issue. He loved it.
Yeah.
Now we have a G.I. Joe fan on the panel right now.
Yeah, I'm a die-hard G.I. Joe fan.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I collect G.I. Joe since I was 1984 here in Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got one or two books too. Yeah.
Gosh, I love G.I. Joe up to this day.
All right, number 3, Ryan.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep your time in mind.
Yep.
Hey, absolutely. One thing I didn't mention when I showed that first Wonder Woman book, my Wonder Woman shirt is courtesy of Andre. That was an AOK as well.
Yeah, that's from Brazil.
That is from Brazil. You can't get this baby in the U.S.
Look at that. Right on.
So
I got to go to Brazil now.
You ought to.
for sure. So you might be wondering, what would a comic book event look like in Brazil? Like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, that is wicked. I like that.
Now, this is the first issue. Andre, please correct me. Are there only 3 of them?
Yeah, they were actually a trade paperback.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there's a classic.
So that they had to reduce costs. And instead of doing a very big trade paperback, they split it in 3. So we had 3 issues for the whole Crisis. But that was not the first time Crisis was published here in Brazil. That was actually the second time, because the first time it was in 87. These are collected issues from 89, not 87.
Okay, interesting.
That's cool though.
And
you did send me
because those books are incredibly wordy, like big time wordy.
I believe that this came from a trade house ad that they did for Crisis.
No. This is a cover for Amazing Heroes.
Oh yes, okay, Amazing Heroes.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. But Andre also sent me a Crisis tie-in once too. If you're curious what that looked like.
Oh man!
Oh
that's
wow!
Nice. I like that cover
Altogether
too.
different cover.
I like how the Superman is kind of off to the side there in blue. That's neat.
Yeah.
Push that up closer, Ryan.
Oh yeah. Drink it in, boys. Drink it in.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Here's a meal you can't get at home.
No. The size is just weirding me out, though. That's so wild.
I actually like digest. So
yeah, me too. I got a whole
put
box
out the little
of those.
pocket books.
Mm-hmm.
I love those, and
they were easy to transport. And my parents dragged me all over the bloody place camping, so it was nice to have a book that was portable that you could just jam in your pocket.
Yeah.
So having those digest sides were great, and then to have the Infinite Crisis would have been awesome.
The cover for the 3rd issue, this cover right there, Ryan, this cover, it was drawn by the same drawer, the same artist that Superman comic book you've just showed here.
Oh, okay.
The name of the guy is Watson Portela, and he's still alive. You can find him on Facebook and Instagram. And he was the artist here in Brazil who would adapt and sometimes make new art for comic books just like those you see here.
He had a tough job if he had to, try to do something with George Perez art inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Those covers are great, though.
Yeah,
they are
absolutely
nice.
Fantastic.
Gary, this next one is picked specifically for you.
Ooh, all right. Let's see what it is.
Because Gary is a fan of.
Oh yeah, Spider-Woman.
Yeah,
that was issue
Spider-Woman.
20 of her series when she first met Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That was issue. Oh, that's great.
Now, this is a very rare one. It's from the 70s, and this is from a extinct publishing house called RGE. And it's so hard to find those comic books here nowadays because they're pretty old. And when
They're
you
not
find
on-
them, they are like a total mess, very, very bad condition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's amazing. So you don't know Andre, but Spider Woman and Jessica Drew Spider Woman is one of she's probably second to Conan for me.
Yeah, Gary's a big fan.
Oh, really?
Wow. Second to Conan. Man,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
bold statement.
Conan, it's Jessica Drew Spider Woman, then it's Carol Danvers and Dazzler, Sensational She Hulk.
Oh, he's got his top 10 list going here.
So, Gary, just for you, bam.
Oh,
Wow, what is that a patch?
like a magnet or something?
No,
What is it, Andre?
this is a magnet.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
magnet.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool.
Fridge. It's a fridge magnet.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool.
Andre also gave me, and it's in one of my boxes from my last move, so I didn't get a chance to pull it, but he gave me the Spider Woman, the packaging for the underoos. He didn't give me the actual underoos, but he gave me the
Yeah.
Spider Woman packaging for it.
Wow,
So
That
I pulled
magnet's
these
cool.
two tonight just for you, Gary.
That's
I
nice.
appreciate it. I love seeing those. Those are amazing.
And you know, as much as this image has been used and taken from cover number 1, I never get tired of seeing it because it's just so
It's
iconic
fantastic.
and good.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
that's amazing. That's probably going to be my favorite book of the night.
Yeah,
It's all downhill from here for me.
That's it. You can't top it now.
I used to love the show, the cartoon. You
Me too.
remember?
Oh, yeah.
Gary? It was awesome. I used to love
Yeah.
it.
It was, but at the same time, I wanted them to let her be more of the hero in that show because they always had her like need help from somebody else. It's like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
Jessica Drew is enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
She can do it all on her own.
Hmm.
So, Steve and Gary, I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
Just
Who
one.
is Superman's girlfriend?
Lois Lane.
Lois Lane.
Wrong. Miriam Lane.
Miriam Lane.
That's what it translates to.
It's a robot.
Andre, you want to explain? Who is Miriam Lane?
Yeah. Is that her
Okay.
sister?
So,
Lana Lang.
DC comic books, they started being published in Brazil in the 40s. And English was not a real big language as it is today. So everything used to have a translation. Clark Kent was Edu Kent here in Brazil. Bruce Wayne was Bruno Wayne here in Brazil. So they had to find a name for Lois Lane. And that we become Lois Lane. She becomes Miriam Lane in Brazil. So
Miriam.
for let me see, 40s, 50s, for 40 years, Lois Lane was called Miriam Lane here in Brazil. So
Locking
just
up
after
Starbucks.
Crisis, she was turned to the original, which is Lois.
That's cool. I like
So,
how
of
those
course,
comics
but,
don't have any barcodes
I-
or anything.
When I told you about Edu Kent and Bruno Kent, that didn't last long. After the 5 first years, they changed for the original. So we've always had Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, but not Miriam Lane. She was actually Miriam from the start, and only in 1987 she became Lois Lane.
Wow.
There's another example of that, another adaptation. You guys remember Terra from the New Teen Titans, the girl
Yeah.
who betrayed the Titans? Her name in Portuguese would be like in English something like naughty, something like a pervert. So they couldn't just leave it like a naughty girl or a pervert. So they changed it for Dana. So in Brazil, Terra was not Tara; she was Dana.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
Wow.
So
I like
this issue I love because here we have the non-powered mod era Diana Prince,
Yeah.
who was guest starring, which is, a perfect issue for me to have because I wanted a Miriam Lane, and it connects. Andre has also sent me some other non-powered or gifted me some non-powered Diana Prince era stuff too. But of course, when you think of Lois Lane in the YouTube comic book community, we think of our good friend Sarah. And Andre did a huge solid for Sarah. I asked him if he could find a Miriam Lane with her in a wedding dress, and he did. And about a year ago, he sent it to me, and then I sent it on to Sarah, and she was just so happy with that. Yeah.
Did you send it as a surprise, or
yeah? She had no idea it was coming, or I had even asked you for it. No idea.
And of course, she's just one of the nicest people you could ever talk to.
She is.
That's the first DC book I've seen that has a Marvel-like box up in the corner.
Oh yeah,
no DC book has ever had anything like that.
In Brazil, for the first 30 years, all of them had it just like that.
That's neat.
If it were not the faces, it was the whole superhero.
Now in Brazil, Andre, did the characters share books like over in other countries? You would have like the Avengers and Conan together in one book, and there'd be an Avengers story and a Conan story.
Because in Brazil, there's not enough money for every character having his own comic book, so they used to do that. And our comic books, they were thicker. They were like 84 pages. They were like 132 pages. So they would fit a lot of heroes in it.
Nice.
Alexa, how do you say Bobby in Portuguese? She's not listening to me.
Oh, you know he's going to be Googling it.
You know he is.
Google Translate.
Number 5, sir.
Okay, so we were just talking about this.
Oh, the Titans.
Oh, nice.
Or the Titas.
Well, that sounds like, oh my.
It's something and something else.
So when I looked at this cover, I thought to myself, well, this is probably New Teen Titans #1 or DC Comics Presents 26 inside, right? That's what I thought.
Right.
Nah.
Nope.
No.
This is Tales of the Teen Titans, the 4-issue miniseries that they had. Issue 1 with Cyborg. That's the story that's in here. Oh, there's a Batman story, and then I think it's the DC Comics Presents team-up of Superman and Green Lantern at the end.
Neat.
Yes, that's it.
But this artwork is so amazing, and in the U.S., really, I don't know where this has been used in the U.S., although I feel like I've seen it somewhere, but not much.
No. Actually, it's a composition of images. They took images from different covers, and they put together as one cover. Robin and Raven, they were the cover for Amazing Heroes comic book. This monkey here, I don't know where it comes from, but Donna Troy and Starfire, they were taken from Inside Art by George Perez as well. If I'm not mistaken, it is when they were fighting the Hive. So this is actually a composition. A composition of characters, and they just put it together to make this cover, which was the first issue of the Teen Titans own comic books.
But it worked.
Their own comic series in Brazil in 1986. But before that, let me just show you.
Oh, he's got something to show us. While he's looking, don't blink because.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Wow! Freeze the screen.
Right.
There it is. Freezing the screen.
Look, you got a bonus book. Oh.
That green monkey kind of reminds me of the Wonder Twins. When the Wonder Twins would transform.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It'd be like a little green
monkey. That's what I was thinking of, too.
Yeah.
Okay, may I show it?
Yeah.
Make them big.
In Brazil, the New Teen Titans, they were, for the first time, seen in this comic book here. Heroes in Action.
Oh wow!
Heroes in Action.
So this is an adaptation from a cover from the Batman family book, which had the Batman here and Batgirl, and I think the
Green Arrow,
Bat and Robin, just like that. And they just changed for the characters that were being shown in this comic book. And actually, this is not a Robin story. It is actually the story from DC Comics Presents. I think it's 26, the one that the Titans premiered in the US.
Okay.
And then again, this is Heroes in Action #1. We go back to seeing the Titans in issue 3.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, just give me an idea, Gary. This is like tag team 10-1-1.
I know, right?
On to them, eh?
so
Donna
the
Troy's my
orig-
favorite. She needs to have more of a spotlight.
Yeah.
the original cover for this had a background art, so they removed so that the spotlight could be on the Titans.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That art reminds me of like whenever they had like their extra thick issues, they'd have like the big team shot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big team shots.
Like
yeah.
over here in the US, like whenever they had like a special issue, you always had like the big team shot of them running into action.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that used to happen here in Brazil. But this Heroes in Action, it was a comic book series that lasted only for 10 issues, and they had a pretty fun mix of characters. For example, in issue 2, look who's in the cover on the cover.
That's Atari Force.
You recognize this?
Atari Force.
It's Scooby Doo and the
Yeah,
gang.
They were a huge success here in Brazil.
Oh,
That's
wow.
wild.
And here, not so much. They
No.
were here and gone.
Everyone loved the Atari Force.
Wow.
Okay,
So-
back to Ryan.
Before we move on to the next book, though, when you were talking about Batman Family, and we were talking about Teen Titans, when I got this book, which is not my next book, it's a little tag along to the Teen Titans one, okay?
Okay.
I thought this was one of the Bronze Age Teen Titans when they brought this series back, but this is a Batman Family story inside. But wouldn't you think that was a Teen Titans
Yeah,
based
definitely.
on just
You
looking
got
at the
Steve,
cover?
Robin,
I was
and-
shocked.
Shocked, were you?
Shocked.
That's great art on there too, though.
And that's
Yeah.
like
That's
oversized
my
now.
favorite Batgirl costume.
It's like golden,
Yeah,
golden
this is-
age size.
This is a Brazilian artist. I don't know who he is, but fun fact here, I never knew about this comic book. And Ryan was the one who found out about it, and he showed me, Andre, do you know this one? No, Ryan, I've never seen this one before. So I went on this quest of tracking down this comic book and giving him this comic book as a surprise in one of our AOK's videos.
Nice.
Was it a hard book to find?
Very hard. This is
Was it?
because it's a
Yeesh.
very rare cover too. Especially in this shape, it's in a very good shape.
And Batgirl's
Yeah,
hair
it's-
is not red.
Yeah, it's not. And guys, you gotta
Oh,
keep
yeah.
you
Blue.
gotta keep in mind something. In Brazil, we don't have the same culture you guys have in the US of a collector's mentality. So people in the past, they just used to read the comic books and throw them away or do anything. Yes, it's black and white. And so we didn't have this culture of collecting. It's something
Wow.
new. I would say that it started during the 70s, and we developed to now. These days, there are a lot of collectors here, but it wasn't like that before. So that's why it's really hard to find old comic books
But
here in good shape.
That was the same.
That cover
here.
presents so well too. Like that is a clean copy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. I just love that.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Okay, now I can move on to my next official book.
Right.
That is correct.
It's time to do some Marvel again, okay?
All
Some Marvel here. And I bet just by looking at this cover, you can figure out what stories are inside.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I
yep.
think so.
One of my
Savage
favorite
She-Hulk.
series. I love the Savage She-Hulk is one of my favorite
Mhm.
runs. And the work by Mike Vosberg on that series is some of my favorite work ever.
Yeah. And you see Spider-Man's got the 5 on there. So that's
Yeah.
what if #1. What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic
And,
Four?
yep.
Okay.
And She-Hulk #1. And I like my She-Hulk Savage just like Gary.
Mhm.
I prefer my She-Hulk Savage over Sensational.
Same here.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's not Barbara Gordon. That's Miriam Lane.
That's Miriam Lane. Yeah.
Oh, to the guy who asked about Ryan. Yes, Ryan does Marvel as well. He loves Marvel
Mhm.
comic books.
Yeah.
Well, of course he
So-
does. He's a big Dazzler fan.
Yes, I love Dazzler.
Oh, and
How much Dazzler is there
Not
over
only
in
does
Brazil?
He loves Spider-Woman as well.
Yeah, I love Spider Woman. And
now, Ryan, wait do you see the Dazzler commission cover I have coming?
are you getting a Dazzler commission cover?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's on the way.
Really? You liked mine, right?
Ooh, reveal.
I did.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Can't wait for that one.
So we're according to my notes, I'm at the number 3 spot, and I left the number 3 spot open to whatever I was feeling at the moment that the show was going. Okay, because
Sure.
I try to put these things in order, almost like if you were listening to a record album, that there's a flow to these. Okay,
Right.
so the number 3 is my spontaneous moment, and I'm really good with showing this as a spontaneous because it shows some characters that you might not expect me to have, some characters that it's just an interesting cover overall. And I'd love Andre to talk about why he selected this book for me. Let's show it.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Some monsters going on.
Wow.
Right on. Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, Solomon Grundy, Swamp Thing. Yep.
hmm Wow.
So these are DC Comics Presents stories, I think.
Yes.
Number 3.
This is a series of 6 issues with like a tabloid format from 1980, and they used to publish 6, but it was so successful that they actually made 8. And I chose that one because it was such a great cover, in my
Yes.
opinion, putting together Swamp Thing and Solomon Grundy, and I thought that Brian would like to have that.
Right. And is that Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing art on there?
Sorry?
I don't
it looks
know.
like
Who did the
Bernie
artwork?
Wrightson Swamp Thing art.
The Swamp
If he's
Solomon
inside-
Grundy looks like a
No,
Frankenstein.
on the cover, it looks like Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing art.
Maybe it is.
Oh,
Maybe it isn't.
Again, it's a composition,
Okay,
so they took pieces of it from inside the comic book and they just put it together.
Mhm.
Show it. Oh, you can't show them
You
the
want me to
back.
show the back cover? I won't take it
Yes.
out. I can take the board out.
Because
So it's a
the
wraparound,
back
is it?
has the original covers for that.
Oh,
There you
very
go.
cool.
There we go. Nice.
I like the amalgamation cover, I think.
Yeah.
That is cool.
And they're both Garcia Lopez's.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, this was the book I was feeling at the moment. But I'll tell you, I'm just might be squeezing another one in, even though I'm kind of fudging the numbers here.
I
a little
know what
Bring
you
it,
want it's
bring
going to
it.
be. I know what
You're
you want
not
it to be.
almost showed this one.
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
I almost look at that Aquaman and he's green.
Holy crap.
Super Holman.
Yeah.
Nice.
Superman kind of looks like Bruce Willis almost there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we got the
Oh,
back
wow.
cover of that one too. Okay, there's the
And
original.
Gary and Steve, you might remember I showed this book in one of my
Yeah.
1011 appearances. The
That
US version of it.
Yep.
That's pretty dope.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So oops, I'm fudging the numbers.
Yeah, it's 3.56892.
Nobody can ever fudge them worse than Anachronic Comics did.
Yeah, Joe is the master of it.
Yeah.
He is the king. The Joe Claus.
All right,
Not
all right,
Santa
Ryan,
Claus,
what you
it's
got
Joe
next?
Claus.
So these are
Okay.
all amazing, by the way, so far.
Thank you. So I would love what I'm showing next actually ties into something we were just talking about. And Andre does not know of any of the books that I pulled or the order that I put these in. I didn't go over any of this with him, but I'm considering this. I've got several to show, but it's a set. And I'll start showing. And Andre, why don't you just start explaining what they are? Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Those are recent books. In 2000, during the decade of the 2000s, the Brazilian comic books, they were back to the original American formats. So the size, now they are measure up with the original comic books, the books you have there in the US. And we have a very special comic book event here called CCXP. And it's like our very own San Diego Comic Con. It's big. It's something really big.
Wow.
And many artists and performers and guys from pop culture, they come here and they do special covers to be distributed and sold during the Comic Con event. And those are all comic variants from Garcia Lopez.
Oh, wow.
They were a set of 5 or 6, I don't remember right now, but they were always having Garcia Lopez on the cover. And you can see the numbers here, 28. It was the regular comic books, Justice League.
Mhm.
It was issue, I can see, Batman. So for that month, they would have variant covers from the CCXP event.
That's phenomenal. I love
Of
how
course,
this
the Wonder
white
Woman
colors
one.
and it just shows the character so predominantly is amazing.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
it was so cool that, we just had a couple months ago this Garcia Lopez variant month promoting his style guide facsimile that's about to come out. And I'm like, this is the original in a way to me. And every time I post these on Instagram, one of these, I end up with so many DMs from people. Where can I get this at? I
Yeah.
need this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one I show. I always pull in several DMs about inquiring about that book.
And that's
Look
my
at that.
favorite
That is so
Batman
cool.
Oh,
costume.
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, let me make Andre big.
Yeah.
But that's
It's
my
like-
favorite Batman costume too, right there.
Yeah, this is like
I
Alex
love
Ross
that,
cover.
Andre.
That's amazing.
Wow.
This is Batman issue 1 from 84. I'm
Oh,
showing you
wow. I
guys
love
because
that.
they use the same art.
It's
You
the
know?
same art,
Yep.
identical,
very cool.
just with a white background. That's
Right.
wild.
And then, I want to go back and spotlight the villains one for a second, too, which is the only one that is a wraparound cover.
Okay, so the other ones are not
The other ones are not wraparound. Like, for an example, this one, I'll show you the back cover.
All right. That's pretty wild, though.
It's an ad for the,
Kringa.
Wow.
So, and Andre, you said getting the whole set now, especially now that the convention's been over with for several years, is pretty tough, right?
yeah, we could say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go. He's coming to Kansas City Con in March.
There she is. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why they put the superheroes on the back because they got the villains on the front, so you gotta have the superheroes.
Yeah, I think that is
Right.
so cool. So,
Right? And you're only as good as your villain, right?
that's true. We're up to a very this is a set again, and this is a set I just showed last week with Andre.
He's gonna cry. Holy
These
crap,
are so
look at
great.
this.
This set. I love this
Oh.
set.
That is awesome.
Now,
These are Argentina exclusive. So when the Linda Carter TV show was going on, Argentina started making, I think they might be bootleg, their own Wonder Woman comic books.
Unlicensed. Love it.
They're black and white and red in color. Mostly black and white with some red.
Okay, that's cool.
You can't find originals of these to save your life. These aren't on eBay. There's some facsimiles and some reproductions that have been made. Once in a blue moon, you'll find a compilation of some of the books put together. And even those on eBay go for several $100s.
Wow.
These are originals. I knew of their existence. Andre gave these up out of his collection. He can't replace these.
right? Yeah,
Unreal.
they're out of his own personal PC.
So let me show
actually,
more. I'm sorry, I just got stuck on that one book, but
Jesus, that is crazy. Andre, did you get struck? That's unreal. Wow. That is
I knew they
tremendous.
would be in good hands. And besides, I really think, guys, that I don't know. I have the feeling that I'll have the chance to own this
That's
comic books again.
amazing. Look at
You
that.
do?
Not those
Okay.
are Ryan's, but something deep inside tells me that sometime they might come back to me. You know, I just have this feeling, and I really wanted to make it up for Ryan because he's such a great friend, and he was going to have us in his house, and I didn't have pink lunchbox, and I wanted to give him a surprise, and he would never know what it was.
Uh,
And I thought, well, I think that's going to be the
Well, I
perfect.
think you gave Ryan such an incredible AOK. I don't think it can be topped.
no way. That is amazing. Holy
it's
cow.
a no way
I wasn't-
okay.
I
No
actually,
way,
I actually wasn't expecting it.
You
How
gave
big
him a
it
holy
was.
grail AOK.
I wasn't expecting. It's
That
been
is
so big. I
amazing.
wasn't expecting that.
When you watch that video, though, you can see from this one, I'm just shocked. But I hold it together, and everything is held together until he says, when I say, well, you have these, and when he says that these are his, then that adds this whole different layer on it. And at that, I'm so glad that I have that on video, because what he said to me after that, I didn't remember any of that in the moment. I had to watch it back because I couldn't breathe at that moment.
Yep.
I literally didn't know how to get myself out of the situation that I was in. And when I say that, I mean I'm being video recorded. I'm the host, and I can't.
Speechless. No words.
And
That's amazing.
I've experienced that feeling, Ryan.
Yep, me too.
When I had Joe and Matt Woods come up, and they presented me with some special stuff. And then I got surprised again when someone that's on the panel now went and saw Jim Zub in person and had him personalize books to me.
Wow.
Well, right back at you for getting me the NYX #3, and then I'm glad I videotaped that one with my reaction to that, because that freaked the crap out of me. I was stunned into silence on that one.
That's no big deal.
Oh, sure it is. To me, it is a huge deal, right?
Now you need one more arm, Ryan, so you can just hold all three of them up next to each other.
It just,
I don't think that this is really sunk in still, that these are mine. And I've gone and looked sometime. I'm like, that wasn't a dream.
Now, how many times have you thumbed through them?
I have been really careful with them. As a matter of fact, I'm a little scared of them.
But you got to look at them.
Oh, yeah, I will. I will.
absolutely.
Absolutely,
You must
I
read
will.
them.
Yeah.
You just got to buy the white gloves to look at them with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Surgical gloves.
Which one do you guys like the best cover-wise? This one?
Show me all three again.
There's 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Show me all 4 again.
I'm leaning towards that one for me. That one's a close second.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to go purple cover.
The purple?
I don't know. It's the purple cover.
This is my favorite.
Those are my.
This
two
one's your
favorites.
favorite?
This one is my favorite.
That one, I just like her face on the bottom.
Yeah, that's kind of neat with that. I like that one though. That
You
one's
like that
really
one?
cool.
Well, that one reminds me most of the show.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, that one.
This one to me is so close to being a negative space cover.
It is with all that whatever
Yeah.
that purpley.
And I'm a
magnetic-
sucker for the purple of that era when they would just put purple on the covers. Like I don't like there's like they just I don't know what it is about that color purple when it was on a comic cover. It just always drew my attention.
So for you guys and thank you again for everyone that's watched my video, but if you haven't seen the video where Andre gives this to me, it's on my channel. It was just released last Tuesday. Please watch it. Please watch my reaction. Please just be
Support
part
Andre's
of this
opinion.
experience with me
Yeah,
just by
books are
watching.
meant to be given, not loaned.
Yes, and go support Andre's kindness.
Yes, please.
Guys, what I found most fun and most beautiful was his reaction being so genuine. I wasn't expecting the way he just reacted, especially when I said that those were my books. And I was like, oh my gosh, that hit him really, really deep.
That meant that was just a
Right.
whole new layer on these books that made them even more.
I've been good friends with Ryan for years now, and I have never seen this kind of reaction. We talk a lot about private stuff, and we sometimes chit chat about our problems, but I had never seen his reaction being like that. I had never seen Ryan crying before, and he just did.
Well,
And I was like,
there's a
"Oh my
reason
God,
we love Ryan in the
I do?"
community, Andre. It's because he's a genuine dude, and that always oozes out of anytime he's talking.
Thanks.
You get how genuine of a person he is.
I know.
So, Andre, did I ever tell you what I really thought these were? Because, first I saw the books like this, and so I didn't know what they were. Did I tell you what I thought they were?
I don't think so.
I thought they were ISIS comic books.
Yeah, no, you told me.
That's what I thought they were. I thought because you said the ISIS ones are hard to find, and they have 3 ISIS ones, and the covers are not different than the US ones, but I thought, I think these are the ISIS. This was nowhere. This was the thought of this nowhere.
But
Never
those would have been
crossed
cool too. That's actually my latest obsession. I'm trying to track down the 8 ISIS issues. Well,
Wow.
nine if you count
Shazam.
her first appearance, the Shazam 25.
The first appearance in issue 1, always can find them. Anything else becomes really difficult to find, but I'll keep my eyes open for you, Gary. I have them all, but I'll keep my eyes open for you.
So I started watching the old ISIS TV show again this week, just for nostalgia.
Yes. I love the ones where she teamed up with Shazam.
Yeah, where they shared his creepy van. No, just kidding.
So these ones would be written in Spanish then inside, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
And we think there's about 16 of these in existence. And Andre, say what you said about not one collector having all of them.
No, it's not of my knowledge. They are all spread around the world. And there's this guy who's called, what's his name again? It's right here, the tip of my tongue. Mandy Mangels. I'm gonna check it here. But before I check, let me tell you guys a fun fact about those issues that Ryan hasn't mentioned yet, because I don't think he went through the comic books yet. There's a whole new character inside, which is an Argentinian creation of Wonder Woman. She's
No
called
way.
Little Wonder. It's a girl. It's a little girl dressed as Wonder Woman, and she has her adventures inside the comic book too.
Yeah.
Is that her on the cover there?
No.
Sorry? No. She's not on the cover.
Okay.
So she shares the comic books with Diana Prince and the original Wonder Woman, and they are stories. The art, it's not all that great, but it's fun to see because it represents what we had at that time, and they are very rare. But I think if Ryan takes them away from out of the plastic, we can see this little character that I'm talking about.
Do you want me to show? I do know what you're talking about because I have paged through these, and I didn't know if that was the version of like Wonder Tot or
No.
Okay.
It's
Now, Andre, did I name you from the wrong place when I introduced you? Where you're from? Where are you currently? Where do you live?
I live in Brazil.
Okay, all right, so I was right. But you have because I have a friend that's in Argentina. I didn't know if he like Ignacio de Meglio. He's great. He's been on the show before too.
Holy crap.
Oh,
Oh
at that.
wow!
that's her.
Wow.
Yeah, she's saying, don't miss the next issue with Mini Marvilla, Little Wonder.
That's neat.
Now, we know Ryan's comic book backstory, Andre, but just real quick, since we got you on, and this is like a special event, how did you get into comics?
Yeah.
I think no, actually, I'm quite sure it was because of the Super Friends cartoon. They were being shown here in Brazil at the same time. The Wonder Woman series, the Wonder Woman show, was broadcasted here. So I think it made me like Wonder Woman more than all the other Super Friends. I've always been a DC freak because of the Super Friends show. And I started watching the show when I was a little kid. And the first comic book that I have ever, I can't say read because I couldn't read back then because I was 4 years old, was a Wonder Woman comic book my father bought me at these newsstands in the bus station of Brasilia, the city that I live. And there was Wonder Woman lassoing a dinosaur, and she was on a cliff, and one of her hands she was holding the lasso, and the other hand she was holding an astronaut. That was my first ever comic book. And I remember my father going through the pages with me and reading them to me because I couldn't read them, of course. And I was hooked. Ever since I was hooked, and I've never stopped it.
What a great dad to sit down and read those to you.
Yeah, he used to do that. He gave me so much motivation, and I actually used the comic books to get my reading skills better. And that was actually how I started learning English, because when I was 7, I found out that the newsstand at the airport in Brasilia had American comic books. So I bought my first Wonder Woman comic books there, and I haven't stopped ever since. So that's my background on comic
That's amazing.
books.
Do you still have that first comic book of yours?
Not that comic book. I have it in a good shape because I actually can't remember what I've done. Oh no, wait. I had this whole collection, and it had been stolen by this group who entered our home when I was 8, and it got lost forever. But yeah, that's the one, Ryan. That's it. That it is.
Oh, nice, Ryan.
That's awesome.
What a fantastic cover.
The dinosaur.
I love that era of covers too. From her.
Get that pterodactyl.
All right,
I
Ryan,
didn't know that was your first cover, Andre. That I learned something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a very beautiful and dynamic cover, ain't it?
Yeah.
Did you buy it again, Andre, when you were in the States?
Yeah, I have it. I even have the American version of it, and I have the original, not the original, but the copy, the Brazilian copy. I still have it with me. Not the one that I had as I was 4, but I managed to buy it afterwards.
Right, but you got another Brazilian language one.
Yeah, another
That's
copy
awesome, dude. That's a great story.
That is cool. I like.
And Ryan, did you have more?
So I showed 10. I'm up to my 1. And then my other one.
Yes.
So this one is the one that you say spec, right?
Yep.
So I think that, I think everything I showed, there's an interest for somebody who likes those characters on everything that I showed.
Especially the foreign language versions of them.
Yes. But this, I think I really picked for spec. It's not really a comic book. It's a little bit more magazine. But this, I think, is my spec pick. Andre, explain what this is.
Cards.
But look at the cover. Are you seeing Marvel and DC in there?
Yeah. A few years ago.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Andre.
That's a mix.
Yeah, I see Thor, and I see Superman, and I see the Scarlet Witch, and I see Wonder Woman, and I see Catwoman.
Yeah, Hawkwoman.
But Andre, what is this? Tell people what this is.
Okay, so you guys, I'm sure you guys remember the Wizard book that he used to have years ago
Yeah.
before the internet.
Oh yeah.
And
Wizard
Amazing
magazine.
Heroes. Yeah, they were magazines about comic books.
Mhm.
Here in Brazil, up to this day, we have this magazine which is called Mundo dos Super-Heróis, which means World of Superheroes. And they used to have promo cards inside it, showing the heroes ever since they were created and all the outfits that they had ever since they were created up to now. So, since the magazine can publish anything Marvel and DC, they made DC characters and Marvel characters too. This is a companion. This is a collected magazine with the cards only.
That's
That's
amazing.
incredible.
You can see
So it's like
you
an
can see
encyclopedia.
Superman, you can see Cheetah,
Yeah.
you can see Black Canary, you can see Harley Quinn, you can see the Batman,
And all the different costumes that they had. That is wild.
all the costumes.
Yeah. That is wild. I love
So
that.
with the Marvel
Right
and the
here.
DC and these being trading cards together in one set, I think this would be highly collectible.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Just that magazine alone is gorgeous.
I wonder if anybody
How
cut
cool
all
you
those
can spend
cards out.
hours just reading the back of the cards.
Yeah, sit there and cut all the cards out and make a card collection out of
No,
it.
you keep the scissors away from that, Steve.
Let me cut it up.
Yeah, that's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Holy cow.
The back of the card has information about that specific costume, the specific era the costume popped up. So it has information about that.
Oh, the penguin. That's cool. And the Joker costumes are wild. All the different Batmans.
We got to
Yeah.
get to the Zatanna costumes.
So
Risque, a little more risque.
like I
then
said, you
more
got Black
risque.
Widow in the same book.
Ooh.
Oh wow! Look at her with furs. That's hilarious. She's got a wrap, a fox wrap. So Scarlet Witch. Oh, she's got some skimpy stuff going on there in the middle.
Oh, that's cool though. That the fact that they have the character progression costumes is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, White Vision.
So yeah, I thought that was awesome. So that's my 10 and my 1. And I got one left.
All right, let's.
So that's the
Let's
spec
do it.
book.
And I'm
Gotta
so glad that
look out
Andre
for it.
is here because he can tell as much or as little of this story as he wants to. Much better than I could. At first, I'm going to show you something.
FOMO,
That's-
FOMO,
that's-
FOMO.
This is
FOMO.
from. There's 2 parts to this. The
Now,
first thing
Andre,
that I'm going to
almost
show
you're
you.
missing out over here.
First thing I'm
Yeah.
going to show you. This is from the United States. So you're like, well, what could Mr. Brazil add to this? Well, you'll see instantly what he added to this, but wait till you find out what part 2 of this story is. Andre, do you know what I'm about to show?
Not yet.
Do.
Oh,
Oh man, there we go. Nice.
So Mike Deodato was drawing Wonder Woman,
Holy
and I
crap.
really enjoy his
Ryan.
run of Wonder Woman. And he actually did this cover. This was during the time that Artemis became Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, he doesn't live in North America.
Two Ryan.
And
Wow.
somebody was able to get this signed for me. But if you think this is
Personal.
something,
Wow.
should I show the part 2 right now, Andre, or do you want to comment
please,
anything? Show.
Please. It's a must.
So look what my book. I sent my book to Andre. Andre was able to get it signed. My book came back signed and personalized. And then this came back with it.
What?
Holy crap.
Oh my
a sketch.
God.
Oh my God. That is amazing.
So
How
Andre, you
incredible
can
is
share
that?
as much or as little about how you made this happen as you want to.
Okay, I happen to be Mike Deodato's friend. In a world that there was no internet in 1994, I was at college and I used to collect American comic books, and I was going through the letter section, and the editor just wrote that this new guy from Brazil would be the artist of the book. And he said, Mike Deodato. And I went on this mission of finding out where that guy used to live. So I went to the phone company to look to look for his last name, which is Deodato, and I found a Deodato guy in a very distant state from mine, and I called him up. And actually, it was not him; it was his father, and his father thought that it was a journalist, a reporter wanting to interview him for getting that gig on an American comic book, because that will be the first time that a Brazilian artist will draw an important character in the U.S. For a big publishing house. And it actually wasn't him, but he gave me Deodato's phone number, his home number, and I called him. I introduced myself. I said something like, I'm a fan of Wonder Woman's, and I've seen that your drawing in your art is just great, and I want to be a helping hand for you. I mean, if you need any kind of reference or material, I can give from my collection so that I can show you, because he knew nothing about Wonder Woman.
Wow.
He had these sample pages that he sent. I have this art saved, on my cell phone, and he used to. It was a battle between Superman and Wonder Woman, and she wasn't even in her right uniform, her right outfit, the post crisis one. So he didn't have much knowledge about Wonder Woman, and I wanted to help him. So we just became friends, and we used to trade things. I would send him stuff from my collection so that he could have a visual reference, and he would give me art, and he would give me sometimes art from the comic books that were unpublished yet. So we became friends, and I still talk to Deodato these days. And
He is a fantastic artist.
That's
I
amazing.
love him.
He did a
And
fantastic Tigra 4-issue series, which is amazing.
I know, right?
And his Conan's fantastic too.
It's so great to see the way he evolved from the Wonder Woman days to nowadays. What he does with lights and shadows. It's just great.
It's refined
just
his
great.
work.
Especially if
And
you've ever read that Tigra
did I do?
series.
Mhm.
So what did I do? Ryan sent me that comic book, and I asked Deodato if he could actually autograph that book to me, because this is not the 80s nor the 90s, guy. People actually charge for autographs, and you know that. We come from a time that you could take a picture with your favorite artist, you could get an autograph from anyone who was sitting there without having to pay it, right? We are from that time. But nowadays, people charge for everything. But Deodato, he never charged me anything. He really never did. And he said, I'm doing that because it's for you. And it's because your friend, he loves it. He loves Wonder Woman so much, and he wants it for his collection. Because when there was this little note to Ryan, Deodato saw it was actually something for Ryan's collection, and not someone trying to sell Deodato's autograph.
Right.
Right.
And
It was
Well, you
personal.
personalize it.
I never asked, but Deodato surprised me as well with this sketch. When he sent me back the comic book so that I could send it over to Ryan, I came across this beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, I won't tell anything about it to Ryan. I'll let it surprise himself. And it did.
It did.
It surprised myself and surprised himself.
That's
So that's-
amazing.
Again,
That's the
Deodato
story.
is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
ever think I've seen anything he's done that I haven't enjoyed.
Yeah, just an incredible artist.
So,
there's a
ladies
lot
and
of
gentlemen, my 1011.
that's fantastic. There's a lot of artists out there that if they personalize it, they will not charge you if it's personalized. Larry
and-
Hama does that. Larry Hama will not charge you if it's personalized to you.
Interesting.
Oh,
And,
that's
and
great.
speaking of that too, Ryan, when Torsen, like much like he knows Deodato, Torsen knows Mahmoud Asrar,
Okay.
and they were out having dinner one night, and Torsen mentioned to Mahmoud how much and how big of a Conan fan I was. He put out a Conan Il Barbaro #1 and personalized it to me.
Was that a picture on your
I
phone?
don't think I can show you guys, but it's
No, it's not coming through. It's too
It's
much
not gonna be
glare.
that good.
coming through.
I think tilt it
Me
forward.
Me and
Yeah.
Deodato.
You're gonna have to tilt the
See if
camera
you
one
can
way or the
turn
other.
it a little forward.
Because
Like
the
tilt
light
the top down.
Yeah, put the top down.
tilting.
Oh, there you
There
go.
it is.
There we go. You can kind of see it now.
Yeah, that's great.
Dressed as Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
there you
perfect
go.
right there.
There. Got it. Right on.
This is when I met him for the first time in person, 2019, because we only used to talk through telephone or letters and sometimes Facebook. So this is when I first met him in person 5 years ago.
That's amazing.
Andre, I know that you got a bolt, but I want to say really quickly, all the stuff that you've given me, including tons more that we didn't even show, we're just scratching the surface. This stuff is fantastic, but you're better than all of that. So thank you for being my friend, and thank you for everything that you do for me, and just knowing that you're in my life makes my life better. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can say the same. I appreciate having your friendship as well. You're such a great friend, and it's something very funny, guys. I must have been Ryan's friend in some past lives, if you actually believe it, because when we met, it was instant connection. You know, it was like we've been friends forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
There
That's
was
amazing.
no awkwardness. There wasn't
Nope.
anything actually. We were just like, how are you doing? What did you do last night? You know, it was something like that. And we started walking around the city, comic book hunting, and talking about a lot of things, just like we've been always been friends. And this is a very special connection I have with him. And I would like to say that your friendship, it's a present for me. It's a gift.
Oh, thank you.
You know, and I appreciate having it. And you know that I'll always nurture it and I'll always make it grow, you know, because you're very special to me. And I thank again you for having me in your home. And I thank you guys for having me here today as well.
Oh, it's our pleasure, Andre.
It's been a pleasure
Andre,
talking
yes.
to you and saying things about my country and the publications we have here, the comic books we have here. But it's just like Ryan said, we are only scratching the surface. There's so much more. And I hope
Andre,
I come back someday.
I can't wait.
talk
I
to
know
you.
that I know that you have to go, so you can excuse yourself and we can wrap up the show without you, but thank you so much.
Let me just say one thing to Steve. Steve, I want to get back here to talk G.I. Joe with you because I'm a huge fan. And
100%.
I have so many Brazilian exclusives. So many.
No. Not another rabbit hole. I can't wait. I want to see them so bad now. Yes. Yes. You got to be back, Andre. Please.
Okay,
Please
guys.
be back.
Thanks for having me.
Andre, I mean, I
Gary's already getting his
He's
scheduling
booking
book
you.
out.
I have you on Instagram, so I mean, we can schedule whenever you think you're going to have free time. I do these shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Tuesdays exclusively with Steve.
Yeah, Tuesday.
So we can always set up a joint show with you guys. Of course, we'll make Ryan co-host because we're going to make him do that anyway.
Yeah.
But think about a Tuesday. I haven't scheduled January yet. Think about a Tuesday you may want in January and message me.
Okay, we are gonna talk on Instagram. Okay, it's better there.
right.
So I'm just gonna wrap this up with a little song which Ryan loves it, and I think Steve is gonna recognize this song too.
I already know it.
I mean, if he's a fan of the cartoon as well.
I know it already. Because it starts out, it goes, Ching.
Cobra who got away said bye-bye, no more to say.
He stuck me with the bill, but I think of him still.
That's it.
Bye, Andre.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Thank you, Andre.
Fantastic, Andre.
Bye-bye, Steve. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Gary and Ryan. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. So, you guys, that was my friend. What did you guys think of my friend?
Oh, Andre's awesome. It was a pleasure to meet him.
Absolutely, it was.
But
That's
while we have
incredible.
you big, what's coming up for you?
Lots of stuff is coming up. So Here's what's on my channel right now and what is coming up very soon. My back issue of the week YouTube short is on Moon Knight. So that is currently running 60 seconds about a Moon Knight comic book that's in my collection. This afternoon, I dropped another comic book editions video. This one has an AOK that I forgot to show that Andre gave me. It's actually this little rubber duck.
Yeah.
And there's an AOK from Signature King Tony Fett in there. And there's an AOK unboxing from Anachronic Comics, Joe, who is in our chat. That's in today's video that just dropped. I'm with you right now. Tomorrow night, I'm on John's Comics with Kids channel. We're doing our Avengers versus JLA show, our monthly show. So we're doing issue 6 of Avengers Silver Age versus issue 6 Silver Age Justice League. And we're going to figure out which is the better book. Nice. Then I'll have Fanboys Live in the Retro Review Sunday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central. At the very beginning of Fanboys this week, we have a huge announcement to make that we're so excited about. So that's what's coming up. And please, if you wouldn't mind watching those 2 AOK part 1 and part 2 AOK videos with Andre that are on my channel already from the last 2 weeks, I certainly would appreciate it. You saw what an awesome guy he is. And you'll see more stuff. I mean, I showed some records, some superhero records in that video.
Yeah, I got to catch part 1.
Yeah. Part 1
Those
even
records were amazing in part 2, though.
Oh, they were. In part 1, I'll tell you, he even found an exclusive. You remember Black Orchid?
Yeah.
DC character. He found a Black Orchid exclusive Brazilian item.
Wow.
Now, it's not a comic book either. So.
So David, his channel, if you go in my description, his link is right there.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm trying to work my way to 1K. That's my goal. You know, I'm like 819 in subscribers right now. So thank you guys. I mean, I definitely feel the support and the love and the friendship from this community, and couldn't do it. I truly do mean this. It's not just a little phrase I say. I couldn't do it without you, and I wouldn't want to. So.
Right. And you're like, oh, let's get my video. I'm like, the only way I know how to do it is to just have them on the show and let's just promote it that way.
I love it. Thank you so much for asking. I love hanging out with the two of you. You guys always bring some of the best people of the community into your chat as well. So I just appreciate everyone so much.
Yeah, and Jackson Roy.
And Jackson Roy.
And meow to him. He's gone now. He's probably over into Omni New Mutants with John and Justin. Doubt. He's probably causing chaos over there. So I fully don't think he's watching right now.
Until the rewind.
Coming up for me next week, we have Council of Comics Week. So that's going to be in December 3rd and 4th. We have Ronaldo on the 3rd and Sam on the 5th. And so that's coming up next week. We do not have a show this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. And I'm not doing anything on Thanksgiving because I'm going to get up at 4:30 in the morning, get my turkey in the oven, get it ready for me and my son, and then relax.
You're going to have a full belly.
Oh, yeah. And did I make you a mod, Ryan?
No.
Well, you know what? Let me.
He's rectifying that right now.
Yes, that way.
Turning you into a blue wrench.
Where is Ryan? Make another comment. That's not
Clicking.
Oh, Joe put it in there.
Oh, Joe's got it.
Right, Joe's got your link.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Let me see. Report. No, I'm just kidding.
Blocked.
You fell for that. No,
just remember. How do I always say that? I got to think of. There's a way I always say this. I put the mental in sentimental.
Right. So, Steve, that just leaves you, sir. What's coming up for you?
Oh, not a whole lot. I'm doing my Voices Choices. Maybe I'll get it done tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't know.
Right.
And then I'm doing going through the hidden gems in my collection. I'm going to be on with Joe an Espresso Mail Call in December. We're doing it on the Friday the 13th. That won't be too ominous. I should bring some horror books for that one, I think.
There you go.
And this Saturday, I'm going to go to Gotham Central Comics and pick up a couple of signed books. So I might do some video in there and make another video out of that one.
Nice.
Because that place is awesome. Chris, the comic vet, he was just there last weekend for the signing with Francis Manipul. And there was an exclusive cover. And I missed out on it. So they set aside a couple of signed books for me. So
Nice.
yes.
All right. So thank you, first of all, to my co-host Steve, who's always here for me. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you always, buddy.
Always, brother.
And of course, making his 4th appearance and not his last, hopefully. Magic Lasso Ryan. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. And ball busting aside, you're one of the best dudes in the community. Thank you so much for always coming to my stupid little channel and spending some time.
I love your channel.
I appreciate it. And of course, none of this happens without our fantastic chat members and the people who watch it on the rewind. So to all of you, thank you so much for spending any time that you do on the channel. And please, if you see I have guests on, go in my description. Their links are always there. These are really good people. And just go check out a few of their videos and give them a chance. That's all we ask.
Yep.
For those that are wondering, Andre doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he does Instagram.
Okay.
So
yeah, it might be weird for him over there because I know the laws are a little strict in different countries where it's not worth having one.
Yeah.
But thank you to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you guys as always. And as I like to end these things, keep it casual.